What's going on, people? This is Shoke, and this is going to be kind of a different style of video and shorter, especially for my standards. But I want to take a time to talk about Marvel Rivals because this ties in very perfectly with the very first video I came back with. What was that, a month and a half ago? I can't remember how long it was when I uploaded that first video again. But the video where I was talking about the problems with the modern gaming industry, how I warned about this stuff 10 years ago and all that, and particularly the hellish landscape that is especially the live service market or the multiplayer market in general. Because this game is a perfect example of what to do if you're going to do this kind and this style of game. And I don't want to be that type of person where I only have something to say if I have something to criticize, or I'm upset, or I'm mad. Like, if someone is doing it right, like NetEase is with that game, I want to make sure that I call them out and I give them their kudos. I'm gonna give them their props because they deserve it. Why does Marvel Rivals deserve its success? Because it's not anti-consumer. Now, it's crazy and it's sad that that is a bar. The bar is that low where I have to give props to a game for, not being anti-consumer, but this game is a breath of fresh air. And if every live service game was designed with the principles, right, and the ideas that Marvel Rivals was designed with, then the free-to-play sector wouldn't have such a negative stigma and aura around it. You know what I mean? This game does basically everything right. Like, I can't think of something in this game outside of like character specific balance stuff, which of course that's always going to be a thing when it's, this character based game. It's not going to be perfectly balanced, especially at launch. But like, that stuff aside, everything surrounding the game itself is absolutely fantastic, man. First off, every character is free and every future character will be free as well. And this includes any new maps, updates, anything that impacts gameplay or is gameplay related will be absolutely free. One of my biggest complaints about this genre is how I try out a free-to-play game, I boot it up, there's like 3 to 5 characters available for me to play, and there's a high chance you might not even enjoy those 3 characters that are there, so you're forced to try out the game with an experience through a character that you might not truly enjoy, so you don't really know if you actually enjoy the game or not. And then all these other characters are locked behind a paywall, and I might look at other characters, see their abilities. Oh, that sounds like someone I'd want to play, but I still don't want to risk spending $10, or if there's some bundle option, $30. I don't want to risk it because I'm new to the game. I still don't know if I'm going to truly enjoy it like that. So I don't want to make that commitment. You know what I mean? For this game, you don't have to worry about that. Now, of course, because all the characters, maps, and the access to the game itself is free, of course they're going to have monetization with aesthetics and things like that. That's going to be a thing. Of course, they're going to be on the expensive side. That's how things are in this modern day and age. But I will say that for this game, it is a little less egregious than the average live service game, because you get really good value for what you're paying. You'll pay anywhere around $16 to $24 for a bundle. If there's like a skin bundle, I think to get a skin itself, like an actual like premium skin, I think those are like $14 alone. But if you go to 16 or 18, you get a bundle where they come with like a spray, MVP highlight intro for whenever you're the best player, in the lobby, things like that. And man, I tell you, these things are so well done and polished. Like, holy shit. When I first booted up the game, I was just going through the skins and I was just in awe at how consistently good these skins looked, and the MVP animations that come along with them. Like look at that, and then think about the $25 value that Blizzard offers you for a premium skin bundle. It is night and day. So while of course it is still on the expensive side, I'm more inclined to support this because not only am I getting better value than what most, if not all, developers are doing out there that are also, in this sector, but the fact that they're respecting me as a consumer makes me more inclined to give them my money as well. Thank you for not charging me for characters. Now I'm more inclined to give you money for the skins, because I didn't have to spend that money on the characters. Everything in this game is actually attainable through just playing it. Of course, there's a store, of course, there's skins and whatnot, but the game is of course free to play. All the characters are free. All future characters will be free. All new maps are free, right? And like I said, there is a premium currency. You can straight up open up your wallet to buy some skins. But if you want to take the time to just play the game and grind it to eventually get those skins, you actually can. Unlike Overwatch 2, where if you don't want to give Blizzard your money and you see a skin you really want, you are SOL, man. You are SOL. Like you can't get it. They lock content behind paywalls in Overwatch and various other live service games. Now, I'm not saying you can, play 20, 30 matches and get a skin type deal. Of course, it's going to be a little slower than if you were to just instantly, buy it. But like, at least that option is there. But the monetization stuff aside, just everything about this game just exudes passion and effort and polish, which are three things that are severely lacking in the multiplayer free-to-play realm these days, man. Like, they treated these characters with so much respect and fervor and enthusiasm. They look great. They play great. The skins are fantastic. The animations are top notch. Even, and I don't really like, I'm not to say I don't pay attention, but I don't talk about this a lot because I feel like a lot of games' UIs are very like ho-hum or just normal run-of-the-mill type stuff. But like, even the UI in this game is just really good. This game entirely just has this clean look to it. It runs well now that it's actually launched. The beta didn't really run well as much, as we would have liked. But yeah, just like the flair on the characters, like they feel like themselves, both personality wise, gameplay wise. Like, think about how Cap would play in this type of game in a hero shooter. Like he feels like you're playing Cap. It feels like you're playing a super soldier, right? You're sitting here playing Spider-Man, you feel like you're playing Spider-Man. Like, you feel like you're playing Spider-Man too. Like when you're playing Spidey in this game, the way he can just traverse the map, it basically feels like you're in an open world sandbox when you're playing Spider-Man, right? Iron Man, he's flying all the time. He can fly all the time, in this game. Same goes for Storm. Like, all the flyers, that have perma-flight, like in canon, they have perma-flight in this game. So like, they just nailed the incorporation of these characters. And not only that, but the character variety thus far is absolutely perfect. Because of course they have those shoe-in, have to have characters. Like, you can't release a Marvel game and like Iron Man isn't there at launch, right? So of course they have all the popular ones: Iron Man, Spider-Man. Of course they have, some of the X-Men. They have the Guardians of the Galaxy, which are really popular due to the MCU now. Black Panther and whatnot. But then they also have those more obscure picks that the common person probably wouldn't know about, or at least not too much about. They got Jeff the Shark, Squirrel Girl. Who's another one? Kind of Magic. I wasn't even aware of Magic myself, and I like loosely pay attention to Marvel comics. I wasn't even aware of Magic myself, but like she's a sick addition. Like, she's a cool character, right? Like, it's such a well-balanced roster. It's a good mix of super popular and less known, but still really cool characters that you are now going to look into because they look cool, the way they're designing this game, and they're fun. And that's the most important thing about this game, is damn near every character is so goddamn fun, man. Like, I'm the type of player, I'm pretty particular about the characters that I like to play. When it comes to character-based games, especially fighting games. Nowadays, if I'm playing a fighting game, I'll play like 1 to 3 characters max, unless it's like a huge roster like Ultimate. Then it'll go up to like 6. But even for Ultimate, remember, this is a game that has like 90 characters. So me playing 6 in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot. So like, I'm pretty picky about who I find fun and who I enjoy. But I could pretty much play any character in this game and have a great time. they took their time with this game in like every way imaginable. Like think about all the elements that make up a video game. Of course, you have the visuals, you have the characters themselves, you have the audio design, soundtrack. That's another thing I forgot to mention about this game. Even the soundtrack is fantastic, man. Like it's top notch. Like a lot of the times I will turn off in-game music to like play my own whenever I'm streaming, especially for fighting games. But like in this game so far, I haven't really felt the desire to do that because I want to listen to the music that's in the game. And this is just a hero shooter, right? Like this ain't some single player campaign type deal. This isn't like, you know, like it's not a single player game at all. This is just a live service online only game, and the soundtrack is banging. The UI banging. You know what I mean? Like the menus, the skins, the characters, the features. This game is fully featured. There's probably a couple things that they could add, sure, but as of right now, on the top of my head, I can't even think of something that like I really just want right now. Like, of course, it has casual. Comp unlocks later today, actually. There's a practice range. You can go to the practice range with your friends. I know that's not like a crazy feature, but a lot of times when these live service games first come out, they don't have that at launch. You know, they have this at launch. They have a clan system. Anyone can make a clan. Anyone could join, you know, your clan. They type it in or whatever. They have online tournaments they're going to be doing. Like, and it's just, I can't stress enough how good this game is. And I was telling my chat like last night on stream, I'm like, yo, like even if you're not into hero shooters, I would say check out this game, man, because it's just so fun. It's a fun video game. If you kind of feel jaded with modern gaming like I have, especially in the multiplayer field, right? Try out this game, guys. Even if you're not into shooters, there's like a good 30% of the roster that are like completely melee heroes, or you know, and there's also some characters that are like, you know, kind of hybrid where they shoot and they also have like melee stuff, you know, like there's Spidey that y'all see right there. There's Iron Fist, which is pure hands. He looks crazy as hell because he be doing that Japanese sub Goku shit. He be doing that on people's faces, getting fucked up. Like, you know, there's Black Panther. You know, he's melee. Hulk is a melee tank. So even if you're not into the genre of shooter, like I wouldn't even like sure, for all intents and purposes, it's safe and accurate enough to call it a hero shooter. But considering how many characters you can play that don't actually require the mechanical skill of aiming, I don't know, man. Like sometimes I'm like, this is kind of like just a hero game. You know what I mean? There's like certain matches where most people are playing like melee heroes and everyone is just throwing hands at each other. You know, like the two tanks would be like Cap or Hulk, and then there's Iron Fist and Spidey for DPS or Magic or something, right? You know, and of course there's no like melee supports because that supports you're not trying to be frontlining and stuff like that. But yeah, like you can do entire comps where if you and your friends aren't good at shooters, y'all don't know how to aim, you guys could just pick melee heroes and the comp will work. It's not necessarily bad. The only time it'll be bad is if the enemy team is like try-harding and they go flyers. You know, the melee heroes kind of struggle with flyers, but they do have some options. You know, Magic can go up there, slash them. Black Panther can go up and dash. You know, Spidey is actually amazing against flyers. He actually bodies flyers. So scratch that. If one of you guys are Spidey, flyers are actually not a problem for you. But yeah, man, like just the way this game is designed, developed, this is the shit I want to see in this industry, man. Like this is what I want to see, because having the Marvel IP and making a free-to-play game, like that's a perfect recipe to be lazy and just nickel and dime gamers, right? To be some sleazy and implement some slime ball anti-consumer tactics, right? They had every excuse and reason in the world to make this game just, you know, another run of the mill cash grab for a company using a popular IP. But no, these developers handled this with tact, with respect, And with respect to the gamers, Overwatch is cooked. I'm not saying that it's done. Overwatch isn't going to die. No, that's extreme. It's too big for that. Anyone saying that is either foolish or they're just kind of like using hyperbole. But no, like, Overwatch isn't going to die. But Blizzard is definitely going to see a huge hit in their revenue when it comes to Overwatch and in their active players. For sure. Because this game is literally just a superior version to Overwatch. And then you have some like actual Blizzard devs and you have, you know, like hardcore Overwatch fanatics talk about, oh, this is an Overwatch ripoff and shit. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you guys know me. I was a die-hard Overwatch fan. I mean, to my core, I still am. That game will always have a special place in my heart. Back in 2016 to 2018, that was my mainstream game for a large portion of that time. You know what I mean? Like, if you hopped on twitch.tv/Shokyo, there was a 70% chance you were going to see Overwatch, and you were going to see Overwatch for like 8 hours. You know what I mean? I was hardcore on Overwatch. I have thousands of hours on that game, right? I have a few hundred on Overwatch 2, unfortunately. Although a lot of those hours are not from this year because I never liked that game from the get-go. I didn't play that game nearly as much as 1, but it's crazy. It's crazy for people to call this a ripoff. And honestly, that's some brainless shit because gamers just don't understand the concept of like, you know, 2 games in the same genre, 2 games done in the same style. Like, you know, there's a difference between a game in the same genre or done the same style and something straight up being a ripoff. That game that got announced that looks like Horizon, that is a ripoff. Do you understand the difference? This is not a ripoff. And it's also disrespectful to call it a ripoff because, like, I mean, if you want to call it a ripoff, fine. It's a superior ripoff, okay? This game actually dunks. Takes a huge dookie on Overwatch, okay? Like, I already wasn't playing Overwatch this year. I already didn't really have any motivation to play it. I have negative interest in that game now. It is so good. It is so well done. But the most important thing for me, given the nature of the game, the fact that it's free to play and all that, is the respect that they gave not only to the IP, but to the gamer, to the consumer. And because of that, guys, I already spent more money on this game than I did on Overwatch 2. I spent more money on this game in the first 24 hours, in the first hour. I spent more money on this game than I ever did on Overwatch 2. Now, why is that? I want you guys to think about that. I'm a huge Overwatch fan. Shokyo's a long-time Overwatch player, been playing since 2016. Oh, I'm not a Marvel fan. I don't consider myself a Marvel fan. If anything, I'm actually more of a DC guy. Of course, I like some of Marvel stuff, particularly X-Men. I'm an X-Men fan. But Marvel in general is like, no, I'm more casual about it, right? I much prefer DC characters, DC storylines and stuff like that. But X-Men are fire. They actually have the best lore in the Marvel universe. Sorry, that's just facts. But like, legitimately, the reason why I have already spent more money on this game than I ever did on Overwatch 2 is because they respect me. NetEase respects me as the gamer, as the consumer. They made sure they launched with a completed game. They made sure they launched with a game that performs well. They made sure they launched with all these, like, even things in the settings and in menus, you know, with like, you know, your reticle and customization and just, you know, all these things that I want in this kind of game are there day one. And then more on top of that, things I didn't realize I wanted in this type of game are implemented in it. You know what I mean? You know, online tournaments implemented that. They did it. There's some things in the options I can't think of right now, but I was going through the options like, oh yeah, that would be nice to have in like literally every other shooter that I play. You know, it's like that. Like, they thought about damn near everything in this game. When I say they nailed every element that is possible within a video game, like I said, gameplay, controls, UI, fun factor, character design, visuals, art style, sound, OST, accessibility, customization, social features, everything is nailed. Play this game. Round of applause for NetEase. They did the damn thing, dude. Like I said, if every game on average was like this, oh my God, gaming would be so godlike right now, man. It would. It'd be so godlike. So I'm hoping and praying that other developers see the success of Marvel Rivals and they're like, okay, maybe if we don't be douchebags, you know, maybe people will be more inclined to play and support our games. You know, maybe if we try harder and focus on making a good product before anything else, maybe we could also see massive success, right? Of course, you know, they have the Marvel IP, so it's going to be harder for just, you know, any random average studio, but, you know, just to be successful in general, man, like, I can't stress enough how good this game is, guys. Play it. Also, by the time this video goes live, I will probably be live on my Twitch streaming this bitch, so go ahead and head over there. But that's it for this video, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Peace.